You guys hear that? That's Twitter and the fantasy world rejoicing. Melvin Gordon was ruled out due to injury. Hopefully he gets better. And Javonte Williams is in line for his first start. He's been the darling of the fantasy world. I think everybody has been waiting for his time to shine. And now that he's going to get his first start Sunday against the Chiefs, I think it's good to look at his fantasy outlook. So we're going to look at just some quick stats real quick. He's only eclipsed 100 yards once this season, 100 total yards, but he's averaged at least 4.8 yards per carry in 7 out of 11 games. He's had 5 runs of 20 plus yards, so showing the explosiveness, but he hasn't had more than 20 touches in a game yet. But there's a less than 10 snap differential between him and Melvin Gordon. So let's look at the last 5 games for him. Against Cleveland at Cleveland, he had 10 touches with 4 rushes, 6 carries, 17.2 fantasy points. Against the Washington football team, 11 touches with 9 on the ground, 2 through the air, getting 6.8. At Dallas, 17 touches, 17 on the ground, 0 receiving. He had 11.1 fantasy points. Versus Philly, back to 6.9 fantasy points where he had 10 touches. And most recently last week, kind of having his breakout game to date with 17 touches, 14 on the ground, 3 through the air for 20.1. So for most weeks, he's been giving you low end RB2 numbers at the worst. We're going to look at Melvin Gordon being now. So with his last 5 games, he's had 10 touches, 13, 23, 10, and 18. So we figure there's going to be about 15 more touches available. Now, Mike Boone is probably going to get some. Maybe he gets 5. But I think those 10 are going to go to Javonte Williams. So he will probably have his first 20 touch game, barring injury. They're playing against Kansas City. And Kansas City, after getting blown out 27-3 against the Titans, they've won 4 in a row. And this is how they've been doing against opposing running backs. So most recently last week against Dallas, they actually didn't score any touchdowns, but they had 82 rushing yards. And then Tony Pollard and Zeke had 8 catches for 56 yards, 21.8 fantasy points. At Las Vegas, 32 rushing yards, but 7 catches for 35 receiving yards for 13.7. Green Bay at home, 99 rushing yards between A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, and then 4 through 44 in the air. And then the Giants, 60 rushing yards to Devontae Booker, and then 6 catches for 81 yards, 20.1 fantasy points. They actually haven't allowed any touchdowns to opposing running backs the last month. So we're looking at a 13 floor base for Javonte Williams, which I really like. I do think that he hopefully gets in the end zone, and maybe we're looking around this 21.8, which would be a career high to what he had last week. Now, rest of season outlook, look, in Dynasty League, he's an obvious buy. You're probably not going to get much value, or you're probably not going to have a lot of people that are looking to trade him, but we all know he's a stud. But for redraft leagues, a healthy Melvin Gordon is going to have a role. He's in the second year of a 2-year, $16 million deal. They didn't trade him at the deadline, so he is going to be with them, and I think they run him into the ground. They have a favorable schedule. So Kansas City this week, kind of middle of the pack against the run. Then the following week against the Lions, they're 29th worst against the run. Cincinnati is third best against the run. And then weeks 15 and 16 or 16 and 17 for the fantasy football playoffs. He's going to face Las Vegas, 25th worst against the run. And then the fantasy championships, he's facing the Chargers, who are the worst run defense in the league. They're allowing more than 130 rushing yards per game. So when people say he is a league winner, he is a league winner, hopefully based on the teams he are playing. The Broncos are 6-5. They're in contention. A lot of their remaining games are in the AFC West division games, so they're going to roll out their starters. So rest of the season, I think Javonte Williams is a no-brainer RB2 at the minimum. Maybe he shows some RB1 upside with Melvin Gordon out. This weekend, if you have him, you're feeling pretty good about playing him. Season-long DFS, I think he's probably going to be a popular play. And anyone that has Javonte Williams, good luck this weekend. If you like our content, make sure that you subscribe, leave some comments, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.